What is up, guys, and welcome to the Meeple Minded Podcast, the podcast where we talk all things tabletop gaming. My name is Jason.
And I'm James.
And I'm Ant, aka the third voice.
The third voice, and two game James. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks for that.
We're sticking with two game James, right?
At the moment,
Okay.
we are, yeah. It has to be two something, isn't it? Really, because you're the third voice.
Well, he's the second voice.
He's two game James, and we're still trying to decide
The head of the
what
table.
I am. I'm the head of the table, the number one. We are the ones.
The game line.
Exactly. The game doesn't help when it's not on video.
We can't see his pointings.
all holding the ones to the air. But
Wrestling references, everyone.
yes, we are that sad. We are just general nerds, really.
We are.
Board games, wrestling. It's what you do, isn't it?
Come at us.
Yep.
Exactly. I was trying to figure out earlier. I was like, how can I display my my Rey Mysterio masks that I've got about the place? You know, my old wrestling mask, my Crisis mask as well. Yeah, that'd be great to show that off. But anyway, how are you doing this week, guys? James, how's things? How's the new job?
It hasn't started yet.
Helpful. Helpful. That's why you've been around.
Yes.
Yeah. We played some games the other night.
We did.
On Monday. That was good fun. Bit of Living Forest. I got to play my new neoprene mat.
I know.
The game was good, but the neoprene mat.
Oh yeah, we love a neoprene mat here.
And what map was this?
My Living Forest neoprene mat.
Oh,
My
of course.
official
Yeah, you did
one,
say
yeah.
about it. I didn't realise you bought the mat as well. Oh,
Yes.
was it good? Come on.
It was. Oh, mate, I'll tell you, that coupled with the awesome E-Raptor Poland Games UV insert that I've got for that game as well.
Okay.
Oh, that table looked just...
What a combo.
It's chef's kiss, mate. Oh, it was so good. It blended all nicely together.
It did.
Like a peanut butter and Nutella sandwich.
And then the game was really good as well.
And of course the game is
And
great.
the game was good, yeah. So, secondary thoughts. Obviously.
Yeah, the game. But that mat.
That mat. Oh,
Just there rubbing the mat all the way through the game.
that mat and that insert.
Oh, it's my turn.
Oh. Yeah, no, very, very good. What about you, Ant? How's your week been?
I'm okay, mate.
Yeah. Same old stuff.
Same old stuff.
Work,
Working.
yeah.
Haven't gamed this week, so
No.
hopefully next week.
No.
Who knows?
You have had some exciting stuff going on for your own podcast, haven't you?
I have, but
It's all secret, hush
it's
hush, right?
we'll see how it goes. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not.
Optimistic as always.
Yeah, as always. I mean, let's see how it goes.
How does that work on your podcast? Because you can't really be the third voice on your own
I'm
show.
the head of I'm the head of the table.
You're
on
the
that
head
one.
of the table on that one. Yeah.
is weird.
I'm the third voice
It is, yeah.
normally if I come on.
Because mine's only seasonal. Yours is you're head of the table all the time. So
That's right. Yeah, remember that.
yeah, of course. I'm not denying it, mate.
But excitement is starting to build now, though,
A little.
because we were talking while we were waiting for James to arrive. It's about 6 weeks.
It is in counting.
6 weeks,
6 weeks
until
and
we will
counting.
be Germany bound. The things.
Guess
are
what September's going to be,
getting
guys? Just S&M episodes.
exciting. No, I don't know if we'll be doing all S&M episodes because that's a bit rubbing
It's
it
a bit
in
too
James's
much, yeah.
face.
I
too
did.
much.
Yeah, just thanks, guys.
Yeah, there's 4 weeks in September, 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep, we'll be, yep.
So we'll do maybe 4 or 5 episodes. No, it's only joking. Just
a mention here and there every so often.
exactly every episode.
That's all right. When he gets to go next year, there's no rubbing in.
It'd be sucky that I'm not going next year, isn't it?
We'll just go then, James, yeah? We'll throw it at the head of the table's face.
We'll see how it goes because some of us have got a wedding to save up for as well. So
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's your problem.
Sucker!
yeah, it will be fun. It'll be fun. It's a board game theme wedding, so that's always
Pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah. And if I get my way, it'll be on a steam train as well. So it's just makes it even more expensive, unfortunately.
And different. It makes it unique, mate.
Exactly. But we're doing a topical today. In fact, we're doing 2 episodes today because I'm off on my jolly holidays next week with my son, which I'm very much looking forward to. So we've got to record 2 things this week. We're going to hit out a topical episode first, and then I think immediately afterwards we're going to be doing a top 5. And James is actually prepared for this one. Would you believe that?
I know.
I actually got a phone call a couple of days ago asking about a name of a game, confirming that James
That means he's doing his homework. He's prepping.
do some homework.
I always prep for the top 5s because it's the one type of episode we do where you kind of have to have the list in front of you.
But have you prepped for this episode, James?
No.
Me neither.
That's probably a good thing because neither have I. So it's wing it all around. For this one. I think that's the good thing with the top.
You've heard it first, the shortest episode of Meeple Minded history.
I don't think it'll be a particularly long
it'll be
one,
all
but
right.
then again, I say that all the time, and it nearly always ends up being nearly
That's
an hour
true.
long. So I guess we'll see how it goes. But we are going to be talking about in this one about liars, dirty thieves. No, just people that lie about whether they enjoyed the game that you've just played. Do you have things that you could say about that? I hope so. Otherwise, this will be a very short episode.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
I think James is going to carry this episode because I know he gets livid when people lie. So, are you guys ready to have a little bit of a discussion?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. I've forgotten the button.
The bottom one.
It's this one, isn't
That's
it?
it there.
Oh, so professional here, aren't we? So professional. It's a good job I don't put the cameras on here with the dodgy dancing that we do. But
if you put the cameras on, not only would you have to have the music, but you'd actually have to edit a little video
Oh,
intro
that'd be good, yeah.
to these things.
Just of us posing.
God. And that's why, folks, we don't do it on video.
You'd-
It would be funny, though, to watch. I've got a bit.
People at home don't appreciate how much work Jason actually puts into editing this. Yeah.
But he's got to edit on holiday, that's why.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't do video, and there's a reason we don't do it live.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, these episodes tend to be about like an hour and a half long. So when you get an episode coming out and it's somewhere between an hour and a quarter, it's like, yeah, it's because I've taken out
45 minutes.
a quarter of an hour or half an hour's worth of just messing about, mistakes, guff, me going quite a lot.
A lot of us going,
But yeah, we do our best. It's still very, very casual, though. That's the key thing. But anyway, topical time. We are going to be talking about dirty liars. I've already used that gag, haven't I? I can't really use that.
hot steaming liars.
Hot steaming liar. No. So here's my question to you guys. Have you ever played a game with someone or you've introduced someone to a game and you've got through the game, everyone seems to have had a good time, you sort of ask them at the end, how was that, and they sort of go, oh yeah, that was really, really good. And then a couple of weeks later, you sort of set up another game for that same group maybe. It's like, oh, they really like this game, so let's do this one because this is very good. And then you get oh yeah, but I didn't really like that game. It's like, yeah, but you said 2 weeks ago that you did. James, I know you have witnessed this a couple.
I have witnessed it, yeah, because it's the same principle, isn't it? Of you might not have been the one who played the game, but you've played with a group of people, having a game introduced to you. The person who's introduced you to the game goes, "Oh, how did everyone enjoy that?" And everyone goes, "Oh yeah, that was great." And as soon as they walk away from the table, the heads come together, and a few people are going, "Well, no, I didn't really like that." And
rubbish.
Just sort of like, well, why didn't you say that?
Yeah. You're shooting yourself in the foot, really, aren't you? Because, like I said,
Yeah.
if that's a regular game group, it's like, well, yeah, you've told this person that you enjoyed the game. They are probably going to then choose another game that's similar
Yeah,
to
that's
that one
About to say that, yeah.
for the future.
If you liked this, you'll really like this. But if you didn't like this, you're going to hate this.
Yeah, and you've geared yourself up to be in that hate category.
Yeah.
So,
It's just my overall feelings on this is I don't understand why. I get that you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, but there's ways to say, well, that wasn't really for me.
yeah, I mean, you don't have to pummel them into the ground saying how bad a choice it was. It's just, it wasn't really for me.
Yeah, it was,
I guess some people are both sides of this. Like, Jason, you're the kind of person that usually is a bit upfront.
Yes.
Whereas James has mentioned about people that don't want to hurt that person's feelings. They put a lot of time and effort into teaching the game and stuff, and it just didn't click. But I don't kind of want to hurt their feeling on that aspect of it, because then I might not get invited back or something. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I can totally understand that, but I just, like I said, I appreciate not everyone is like me. I will be quite blunt about these things. I'll try and make it, I guess, fairly comedic. I'm not heartless. I won't go full on rage over it, but
you'll still get your opinion out of it somehow, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, at the end of the day, I don't see the point in sugarcoating something. It's like I said, I don't really want to come into that eventuality where I'm now playing a game that I absolutely detest purely on the grounds of I said I liked this game and therefore it's natural progression that we've gone to this game. So yeah, I would say for me it's far easier to be quite upfront. However, I know there are a lot of people out there that just can't do that. But I've never understood why.
Yeah, like I said, there's nice ways to do it. You don't have to turn around and go, this game was absolutely, and then a string of expletives. But I've never had a problem with turning around and going, it wasn't a bad game. It wasn't for me. But I'm also one of these people who feels like I have to justify that. Any form of criticism, just going, oh yeah, that was rubbish. Well, why was it rubbish? Why didn't you like it? I appreciate that not everyone has different tastes in games and that, but at least justify why you didn't like it.
Yeah, that's the same principle with a video game, a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
All right, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, elaborate.
I mean, would you say that that's a potential reason why somebody might say, it might not say that they dislike it, though? Because if you're sort of then going to do the follow-up question, is like maybe that's the reason they don't want to admit it.
It is, but I mean, I think if someone turns around and says, it's just not my cup of tea, that is almost a justification. It's like that to me would say, well, they don't really know, they can't put the finger on why they didn't like it, they just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is fair enough. They might come, the why they didn't like it might come later once they've had time to actually think about it. But, I wouldn't be offended. But another side of this is someone who will hold their hands up. Like, you guys do most of the buying in the games that we play. If we take our game group as an example.
Yeah.
So I would also feel doubly guilty if I effectively lied to Jason and said, he set a game up and I was, I really liked that when I didn't. If he then goes out and buys another game effectively to play with the group that's similar.
Yeah, or expansions, I guess.
Yeah, or expansions for that game. Going, all right, people enjoyed that, so we'll get some mileage out of this, so I'll expand it. And then I would feel increasingly bad because you've gone and spent more money on this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually a very good point, James. Like, has that ever happened to you, Ant? Like, because I can definitely say that's happened to me.
Yeah, definitely happened.
Perfect example, for example, would be Root. We were actually talking about this earlier. I know when I first got Root, I know that I've got mileage out of Root because there is a certain game group that we have played it a lot with. But there was also another group which I was playing heavily with at the time that would, I really liked Root. And I was brilliant, I've got all these people wanting to play. I'll get the expansions. And those expansions have never hit the table. Yeah. Because it's just sort of like, when I've gone to that game group, it's like, I didn't really feel Root, actually. I was like, I've just expanded this like 2-3 times. Yeah. It would have been nice to know that. Luckily, I've got another group I can play this with. That's fine. And then we've never played it. Hence why it's one of those games that potentially could be on the sale pile, but that's another story.
But you still kind of have it at the time, so it's not like it's, like you said, you got another gaming group out of it. But it's a case of that you've spent more money on it that you couldn't have done. You could have gone to a new game or something else. But I totally understand. So
because you've obviously had some games in the past, like I think Nemesis is one of the good ones. That you expanded quite a bit and never really got to the table. Was that because groups played it and then just didn't play it again, or did you get a hint that maybe they didn't like it as much as they said they did, which is why they've not played it again?
So they played it once and they was unsure about it first time. So they kind of told me straight off the bat, we're not too sure.
That's pretty good.
But I'd like to try it one more time.
Yeah.
So we did it again, and then they all told me they still enjoyed it, and then I bought all the expansions for it.
Yeah.
But then instead of telling me, okay, let's play it again, they were talking about, I wouldn't mind playing this again, or go back to this game again and whatnot now, which is the hint of, we don't want to really play this. Yeah. And that's how I got the hint of it. And then we've mentioned before that those expansions never saw the light of day. So again, that was another downside to it. Yeah. The lockdown side of it, I did that all on my own. I thought they would come to the table enough, but I should have learned first time, in honesty.
Yeah. Okay.
So
fair. I think what we're basically banging on about here is don't lie and be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's, again, Nemesis as a game that I love. I fully appreciate that. And the main reason I get from feedback of my copy is it's not that we don't like the game, it takes too long. I have to be in the mood to play it.
Yes.
And even I'm like that. I have to be in the mood to play it because it's a long game.
Yeah. So do you think that the sole reason that someone might not tell you the truth is just for fear of hurting someone's feelings? Or do you think there's other reasons? Because I mean, I assume, because I think when we're having this conversation on Monday at the Games Club with a couple of the members. I sort of brought up that I could potentially see it being like going to a dinner party, and you're not wanting to insult the host with their cooking. Like maybe you didn't like the meal that they served, but instead of saying wasn't really for me, it was oh yeah, no, that was really, really nice.
I just say I'm allergic to it.
We were talking about this, like you said, at the gaming club, and I don't see that that example lining up, because when you go to a dinner party or someone cooks you food, they've created that from scratch. So that's effectively calling into criticism their cooking skills.
Yeah.
While the host bought the game, they didn't design the game. So if you turn around and go, oh, I didn't really like it, I didn't think the mechanisms worked all that well, it's not like you're insulting it's not like you're standing in front of Jamie Stegmaier or Eric Lang and slating the game they've designed. It's like...
See, I would say, like, knowing quite a lot of gamers, that some people do get that offended. And you sort of say, well, you didn't design the game, dude. Come on. Yeah, it's I'm not saying that your house was horrible and that's the reason the game was rubbish. It's like, no, I'm just saying I didn't enjoy the game, for various reasons. Or, I'll give you my reasons that I didn't like this mechanism. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. I didn't like the theme, blah, blah, blah. I'm not insulting you. I mean, I'm not really insulting the game. I'm just saying it's not for me. But there are some people out there, purists of said games, that will just be like, no, this game is perfection. You don't know what you're talking about. Much like, I don't know, someone who would host a dinner party, for example.
What is it with the food, Jason? But no, in honesty, I think I've kind of been in this ballpark where I've kind of lied about a game to fit in with the crowds.
Right.
And as an example, it was like when I first got into the hobby.
Right.
And people were like, Ticket to Ride, one of the best games out there. I played it. I don't really think much of it, I'll be honest. Sorry for anyone who loves Ticket to Ride. I'm not a fan of it personally. But I simply said I enjoyed it then because I wanted to come back again and play other games and stuff. And I thought if I said, well, this Gateway game kind of sucks, I don't think I would have been back, to be honest. Okay. So it wasn't intentional to lie on that. So I guess that sort of aspect to it, but I wanted to play more games. I wanted to come back, and it wasn't the People's Company. Just the game never clicked with me.
I mean, to me, that comes across as like a bit of an intimidation factor. Is why you said it. It's like not because the threat that they're going to beat you up or something.
No, not at all. Because you're new to the hobby. You want to continue with it and carry on with it. But if I had to lie to do that, then I can't help that at the end of the day.
And that wasn't because you didn't want to offend them not at all. Per se. It's just you wanted the invite to come back.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that to me is a little bit like you shouldn't have to be like that.
No,
because it's like I wouldn't not invite someone back just because they turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I wasn't a fan of that." I would, especially in the example you give, if it was a new person to the hobby, it would be that gentle questioning of why didn't you like it, purely so that I can turn around and go, "Okay, you didn't like this, so that probably means that you don't like these mechanisms." Yeah. So I can then, as a newbie, turn around and say, well, I'd stay away from this, this, and this because they're similar, but okay, we'll try something different.
Yeah.
You're new to the hobby, so you don't know at the end of the day what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
Exactly. I guess a really good example here that I know, Ant, you can attest to because you were there, that I could give as to, the right way of doing this, I guess, would be when myself and you went down to Wayne at Board Stupid's house. He'd been banging on for ages that he wanted to play Dynogenics, one of my favourite games. I took it along, we played it, and I believe Wayne enjoyed it, but he had issues with the game.
Yeah.
And we had a nice discussion afterwards about, the flaws of the game and, one thing, things that it didn't do so well, things that it did do well, and it was a nice conversation about that game. I wasn't offended by his thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
I think he had some fairly justifiable things. Some things I disagree with, some things I definitely agreed with.
Yeah.
But that was immediately following the game. So it wasn't like, oh my God, that really was the best game since sliced bread. And then we've left. And then they've immediately been like, that game is awful.
Yeah.
What the hell is he seeing it?
At least it was upfront straight away.
Exactly. Upfront straight away. It led on to a discussion amongst friends and, everyone went on their way.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah. He probably hasn't played it again since. I've carried on loving it. And, we're all happy. We're all still gaming. That, for me, is a perfect example of how things
Should be, yes.
Well, it should be, but we're not all the same. Like I said earlier, we have different tastes. So it doesn't matter if it happens to be your favourite game in the world. There's going to be people out there who just don't like it.
Yeah. And I would definitely say I'm one of those people. I was like, there's so, again, Dune Imperium, perfect example.
Yeah.
I personally don't really rate it.
No.
I mean, it's a good game. It's got good game mechanisms in it, but the theme just doesn't do it for me.
No.
Like, it really puts me off.
You like what you like, mate.
Exactly. And I think that, again, I don't sugarcoat it. I will in jest say how bad the game is, but I don't mean it.
No.
And under a serious conversation, we can have...
But I would never beg you to play it or anything like that at all, because I know, and vice versa, if I told you there was something of yours I didn't like, it'd be the same way. So
I would like to play it again at some point, because I know James hasn't played it, and it is a game I think James will actually really enjoy. So it'd be interesting to play it one game night.
Which
Dune Imperium.
See, I'm very much in the same boat as you. It's like, I'll play it, but the theme just
no.
I'm not interested in that universe.
But then for you two, because we're obviously quite close friends, we do the podcast and stuff, I would expect an honest opinion straight after that.
Yeah.
If you didn't like it, fine. It's gone. Is that the question?
Yeah. Hot steaming garbage category.
But yeah, for me, because like I said, I was so nervous trying to fit in with a new group of people, group of friends and stuff like that, that, I had to stomach some of their games just to get a feel of new mechanics and stuff like that. And there's loads I didn't like. One that has foxes in it, for example.
Yeah.
Not a particular fan of, but hey, is what it is. Tried it once.
I mean, we've said some in the past, and the thing is, we'll talk about the Fox experiment, because that was one of the games that I was sort of thinking of. And this is another thing, right? It's not necessarily about lying all around, right? I remember saying when we played Fox Experiment, there was, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And then I sort of, on the journey home, was more thinking about it. And then a couple of days after, I was still thinking about it. And that's when I was really formulating my opinions on it. And actually, do you know what? I didn't think that was as good as I really thought it was. So maybe that comes across to that I did lie and say, that was all right, when actually I didn't think it was all right.
Yeah.
So I would argue that maybe, we're sort of saying that these people are liars. Like, maybe they're not. Maybe it's just they haven't had enough time to really formulate those opinions.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, again, we're taught just in general, aren't we, not to offend people and be nice. So it's the default to sort of go, oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah. I mean, have there been any games that you think you've done that on, Gamejet?
There's possibly. I'm looking at one in the background now. I can't actually remember what my reaction to it was.
Whoa, hang on a minute. We're in my room.
Yeah, we are.
No, James, you've loved every game I've ever played with you.
Technically, it wasn't your copy. It was...
Oh, it was Ant's. Okay. What game was it then?
Challenges.
Okay.
It's not a bad game. It just doesn't speak to me.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. I can understand that, because I guess that is a bit sort of... It has an air of party game about it, doesn't it?
Why did you tell me this after I bought Challenges 2?
I know. Exactly.
You lied to me, James.
You made Ant spend more money.
But that's what
that's fine.
I honestly... Now that we're having the discussion, I can't remember if I said that to you when we played it, or I know we've played it more than once. I think it might have been after the second play that I was just a bit sort of, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because you played it mine first, and then I think Jason bought his, and you must, because I think you've only played it around mine once.
Yeah,
and then
I think we played it at the club
more.
once, which is probably when you played it the second time.
Yeah, it's one of those games where I don't object to playing it, but it's just not that great.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair enough.
I'd say I would. I guess this is where the conversation side of it comes. I would disagree. It's not the best game in the world, but I really enjoy it.
Well, I totally disagree, because it was Game of the Year, James, and it's clearly good. No, I'm only joking. It's totally honest, because it is very. Yeah, it's very.
There is another game that we're playing at the moment, or it's going through our play thing at the moment, which I'm reserving judgment for until we reach the end of it.
Yeah,
but at the moment, it's sliding into that. I'm not really into this, and that's the Jurassic Park Legacy game.
Yeah.
But I fully appreciate
it's another one of mine. Is this just the third voice diss?
I did say, like Legacy games are right up there in my mechanics of I don't like them.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping the Jurassic Park theme would offset that a little bit, but so far it's there. Like I said, we're what, 2?
I mean, it probably doesn't help that we suck.
It's not.
This is my first proper Legacy game, and the fact that we've gapped so long between the episodes. If we'd done it literally consistently once a month or something, it might be slightly higher for James. But I understand what he's coming from.
I mean, when we get around to doing the episode on it, it's like that I have lots of things to say about the story, and we've only done a couple of the missions so far, but it's just
we've still got 10 more to go.
Yeah, so again, that's why I say I'm sort of like I'm reserving judgment until the end, because I fully appreciate it is a game that you can't really judge until you reach the end of it.
No, I'm on the same bandwagon with you, mate. I mean, it's a lot to take in and a lot to do just to get going, and lots of checklists to do. But I'm glad you've told the truth on it. I mean, because I wouldn't want to make you carry on something you're not enjoying at the end of the day. So
that game, especially in the setup, has felt very much like work. Like it feels like
it is
work.
Like, I mean, I assume that's with all Legacy. Again, I'm not. Guys, if you know Legacy games, comment below. Let us know. I'm not sure this is what it's like. I think I tried a Pandemic one once, and we did it once, and we've never gone back to it since. So again, this is probably my proper first try with it. At the end of the day,
no, that's fair. I mean, that again, that's understandable, James. But what would be the reason that you felt that you maybe did? I won't use the word lie because it is quite strong, but you maybe weren't quite so honest.
What, with Jurassic? I don't think
no, I'd say Jurassic Park, you've been a bit more honest about that, but like Challenges, for example.
Well, like I said, default, I can't actually remember what my reaction to it was, but it was, again, what we've said, it was a game that Ant had, I think you got it from...
I got it for my birthday last year, was. Yeah.
And it was that thing of, I almost died because you were, if I seem to remember, you were quite excited about it, and it's just sort of like it's that principle of somebody's really hyped for this game and they really want to play it, and I don't want to be that negative person who goes, well, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that as well, because I think I've done that in the same situation with you two in here as well, but I've not regretted it at all. Yeah. Because again, some of the stuff is not my theme. Like Hero, for example, I'm not into hospitals. I kind of have fear of hospitals, in honesty.
Yeah.
But I'm still willing to try. But I guess my initial reaction underneath is like you said, James.
Yeah.
But I can't go on about it if I've not played it, can I? So let's actually play the game and give an honest opinion of it afterwards. So and we did a review of it. I said on there, it was a great game. Not one I would own or continue to play, but it was good enough.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Would you say that is potentially something else that adds towards that air of maybe dishonesty? After you've played the game, is like maybe your initial impression of the game before you've even sat down is like, not really sure about this.
I think with me with Hero was I knew nothing about it, full stop. And since being on the podcast, I've kind of gone into doing my homework with games. Like back in the past when Board Stupid asked me to come on episodes and do things, I know nothing about board games because I come to you guys for the info. Now that I'm part of the info, I have to try and make that extra little effort now. And the fact I knew nothing of that and going in blind with a theme I'm kind of scared of in a way, it was just a bit of a shocker for me, if you will. So here's a game you don't know about. Try it. Okay.
I will say, actually, doing this, I think, has given me more confidence to basically turn around to someone and go, I didn't really like it, because I feel confident enough to articulate why I didn't like it, because we do it on here.
Yeah.
See, I would definitely agree with that somewhat, James, because I feel like I'm the same as well. And I think for me, it's somewhat because we do it on here, but also because people that know what we do, people that have heard some of the shows, or maybe they haven't listened to the show, but they know that we're involved in board game content production, be it YouTube, podcast, all of that kind of stuff. I've done written reviews in the past as well. People somewhat expect that honesty from you.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to be honest up front, then, you are probably one of the worst liars.
Yeah.
Because, if I genuinely don't know, once I finished a game, if I haven't had time to articulate my thoughts on the game, I don't have a problem turning around and saying, right now I feel this way. However, You know, however is a very powerful word.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to initial thoughts after.
Here's your test results. However.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and you just sort of like, I like to take my time to articulate my thoughts with regards to a game, and we've talked about this many, many times, of the amount of times that I will go away and I will think about a game. I will just be thinking about it constantly. Maybe the whole next day while I'm working. Instead of working, I'll be thinking about the game from the night before. That's when I really do come to a conclusion as to what I thought about that game.
Yeah.
So it might just be because, what did you think of that game? Okay, well, my first impressions are this, this, and this. However, ask me again in 24 hours and you'll get a much more solid answer, because that's when my mind will go, ding, thoughts done, and I can now serve it up.
Yeah. If you're doing content that's constantly awesome games every time, that people are going to know the answer before they even hit the play button.
Yeah.
So you've got to be 100% honest now. Yeah. However.
Yes. However, it's a great word. It is a great word when it comes to someone wanting your thoughts on these things, right? If it's the jumping on you as soon as the game is over. Yeah, because, again, James talking about natural things, natural reactions. It's also a natural reaction for the host to go, what did you guys think? The game isn't even away, dude. Yeah, but what did you think? Well, the game's not even away. How the hell am I supposed to think about everything that's just happened over the last 3 hours? I don't know how I think, what I think. However...
It's when you do a games night and you play a bunch of games, and then at the end of the night they go, what was the game of the night?
Yeah.
That's when it's like, let's see what everyone else answers first.
Yeah.
And I'll go.
I mean that again. You've just brought up another fantastic.
Oh, there we go.
Fantastic thing there, Anne. If there is that situation where there's, what did you guys think? How often would you say you're the person to go first? And do you actively try to not be the first so that you can hear what's being said around the room? And then do you feel that impression that's gone around the room, does it affect your impression?
I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10, I'm not the first person.
Okay. Unless
the game has really hit me good or bad, then I'll go first because I'm confident, like James said, I'm confident to go that reason.
Yeah.
But like I said, the majority of the time, I'm not that person.
Yeah. You kind of want to... Are you one of these people that likes to see if anyone else has picked up anything?
I'm not doing it just to find out what people's thing is. I mean, we all have different experiences when we play the same game.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it much, I'll go off right. Do you know what? It's because of that refresh mechanic.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like this game.
Yeah.
Because the cars don't come back.
I mean, someone might actually mention something that triggers your memory of like, yes. Right. Yes. You know, I couldn't quite get my thoughts straight, but yes, you're right. That's what it was.
Yeah. Or if James said that first and I go, yeah, that bloody refresh mechanic. Yeah, I hate that too. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. No, I can understand that.
What about you, James?
Yeah, like I said, probably when I first got into the hobby, I would absolutely have waited for everyone else to go to see what the general pulse of the table was. But now, I think I'm actually quite often to go first, to go either for or against, to go, I really liked that, or I didn't like this.
Yeah. See, I find the problem I have, right, again, it all goes back to this whole, you're in content production, people expect you to know straight away. That question will go out. What did you guys think? And it's almost as if all the eyes in the room suddenly turn and face you. They'll be like, you all want me to answer first, right?
Yeah.
Yep. But I also agree with what Jason said earlier. It's like, I also don't have a problem with going, I'm on the fence at the moment. I'm not sure what side I'm going to land on because I'm still processing.
Yeah. So here's a question for you, Ant. Do you think this is what James does, right? As soon as the game night's over, what's generally one of the first things he does as soon as the game's over? He'll disappear out of the room.
Go for a smoke and take it all in.
He'll go for a smoke, and I'm sure he's taking it all in, and that's the exact reason.
Can't believe I lost again.
Or do you reckon it's a way of getting out of answering that question?
If it's probably one of my games, is to get out of that. I think we've learned he doesn't like my stuff, so
they're on to me. I'm just dodging the question.
Yeah, this is what the listeners don't actually know is James doesn't actually smoke.
What?
I know you'll find that from most smokers though. It's like no matter what the situation is you go outside, you light up and you collect your thoughts.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to steal his lighter. So he can't.
It's just got to come back in.
So he's got to come back in. It's
God's
like,
sake.
you don't get it back until we get an answer. I'm going to torture him into giving his answer.
But then you'll get the craving answer. I was like, it was give it here.
It was that's exactly what we But no, I think really I think everyone is very different in this subject, right?
Yeah.
I find it quite easy to be as honest as I possibly can be nowadays.
Yeah.
I do think this has helped. But it's also put quite a bit of pressure, I find, on me, because like I said, I always get that. What did everyone think? And all of the eyes will turn.
Have you ever had a host backlash at you, though?
I've not really, because
I didn't like Heat. Oh, yeah, well, I don't like your whatever. You ever get that from a host or anything?
I wouldn't say I have as of yet. I would say I've had the backlash in the sense of disagreement with what I've said. But again, this is where I'm very... While I'm not actually great with words, I try my hardest to be very, very protective with what words I use when I'm giving that first impression. Because I don't want to offend someone. Because especially if it is a game that they love, right? I don't want to be the one to offend them.
And when you've got backlash from your opinion, does that put you off giving your opinion?
I would definitely say, though, as an extension of that, I have had backlash at a much later date.
Yeah.
So, again, we say things very publicly. I've been very honest with games in the past. And yes, I have had backlash about games that I've spoken not so positively about on this public forum. Then I've had the backlash from said host of the game nights. You know, these people tend to forget that I play these games more than once, right? So it's like, I have referred to things on the show, obviously, from individual game nights, but it's like, don't take it personally, because I played this game once with you. I've played this game at least twice elsewhere. So I might not be talking about this particular occasion. I might not be talking about this particular game. You know, especially if it's something I've seen a recurring theme of in a game. Then I get backlash for it, occasionally. I don't tend to play games with those people very often, because it's like, well, no, you're going to take this far too personally, you know, and I have to be honest about these things. But yeah, no, I would definitely never say I've got that pathetic backlash.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
I don't like you don't like this, therefore I'm going to slate something that you like. I've never got that yet. You know, I would hope that I would never get that.
It's a very silly thing to do, because my retort to, well, I don't like X would be, well, why didn't you say something then?
Yeah. Or just, okay. Because again...
why didn't you say this about the Legacy game before, James?
Yeah.
How about James?
And challenges.
But no, James, have you ever had anything like that at all?
I mean, I usually play with Jason. He's god-awful if you
Mate,
start slating.
he hates...
If you slate his games, Jesus.
Absolutely hates it. He's going to pull me aside after the episode. So why didn't you like Hero?
That wasn't the question.
No.
You asked me if I've had backlash. Of course, I've given out that backlash.
No, of course.
No, in all honesty, I've never had that. But, you know, full disclosure, we usually play Jason's games.
Sure.
And as a co-host on the podcast, if anyone was going to encourage you to be honest, it would be him.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I would very much prefer it if people were honest about these things. Because again, it helps me as a host make better decisions for future game nights. You know, it's pretty good with the three of us, right? We've all got fairly similar tastes, apart from Ant's terrible obsession with Dune, James's awful obsession with Nemesis, and I'm sure my obsession with obscure games that no one's ever heard about. We've all got our obsessions over stupid things. But then
that's good. It's not like we're all the same at the end of the day. Otherwise, it'd be no point.
I mean, as a gaming group, we are quite good. Like I said, we have our subtle differences, but generally, we do align in the kind of games that we like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we love legacy games, obviously.
We're not there yet, Jason.
That's a lie. That is a lie right there. Can't stand them. But certain IPs, we just have to, don't we, really? It's like the Jurassic Park was like...
And we got it dead cheap as well. That's probably why we're playing it as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got another legacy game coming next year in Flashpoint.
Oh,
Fire Rescue Legacy, which I really ummed and ahed about. I couldn't not get it. because I love fire rescue, but
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
I guess we'll see if we actually go through with the legacy part of that, but we'll see. But yeah, overall, would you say that you get a higher percentage of people being honest about games that they've played at your game nights or game nights that you've attended? Or would you say it's a higher percentage of people that are maybe not quite so honest? And with an extension to that question, with the ones that are not quite so honest, have they then come back to you in the future saying, actually, I wasn't that sure? I'll go to you, Ant, because you host game nights as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've learnt my lesson on it in honesty. So when I was talking about Nemesis, there was a couple other games that people weren't actually comfortable with but didn't actually tell me about. So I've kind of taken that in and gone for games that probably would be their appeal, to play and stuff. So, but I still get ones that come up to me today and, they don't tell me in person because, again, I think they're just trying to do it out of being kind to say, but I'd rather them tell me because I can't learn from my mistakes then if they don't want to play the game again, or why should I keep a game around that's just going to collect dust and never come to the table anymore? Yeah. So no, I think for me as a host, I had to learn the hard way on it. I wish they were a bit more honest with me beforehand, but again, these are the kind of people that just don't want to, say it in front of everyone and just maybe embarrass me as a host. Who knows? It's made me learn as a host as well. So,
I mean, that's a very good point. Maybe it is just pure. We don't want to embarrass someone by saying we didn't like their choice.
Yeah.
So, this is a very good point. What about you, James? Would you say it's a higher percentage of people saying the truth or maybe sugarcoating the truth?
No, I would say when I've hosted Nemesis at mine, for example, the feedback has been honest, which is the game is good. It's just a bit long.
Yeah.
But I count that as being honest. It's like, oh, yeah, the game was great, but man, it's a slog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Jason, again, you're a host as well of what you do with board games. I mean, there are times where there's games you want to bring to the table, so it's there and it's set up ready to play, isn't it? Have you ever gone through a phase where you're not too sure about your guests that you're hosting, that you let them pick instead of you having a game ready for them?
I like to at least pick one of the games, usually the first game of the night.
Yeah.
I would say I try and avoid the whole, what would you like to play?
Right.
Purely because you usually could play another game in the time it takes for them to pick a damn game.
I was going to say, the times that you do that, you usually do it over group chat before, so that the decision's made before the game night and you can still set it up before everyone arrives.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you can have it ready, ready in the pile, can't you?
Now, I would say I can go a little bit further with this discussion as to people's honest side of things, because I obviously host game nights at home. I get the honest feedback really with regards to the game itself. I extend the question of what did you guys think about that game, but I'll also try and be a bit more specific because I actually want to hear people's feedback because it helps me formulate my opinions of a game from other people's perspective. If I'm going to come on a public forum and talk about the game, I'd like to have a bit more of a wider range of information that's that is out there. And I can also go ahead and say, as someone who runs a game club, because it's not always just about getting truthful information about a game. It's truthful information about an event that you're running, maybe. What are people's truthful opinions on that? Because I could sort of say, what did you think of my game club? And it's really, really good. But it's like, well, are you being honest? Is it too busy for you? Is it too loud in here? These are the kind of things that, I would not be offended if you sort of go, we really enjoyed coming, but it's a bit loud in there, or it's a bit claustrophobic.
Yeah, I was going to say, you using the game club as an example. Another one is, we're thinking of running this event. Oh, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And then no one turns up.
Yeah. It's just sort of like, again, it's an instant reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, we're thinking about doing this. Oh, it's a fantastic idea. I'm not interested, though. But, okay, well, that's what I need to know, is that second part that hasn't come out of your mouth. You've got the bit, it's there, it's formulated, but it hasn't gone from brain to mouth.
Yeah.
And that's the information we all want, right? That's the information as hosts, that's what we need. And that's what I think bugs me to no end.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
I want that information and I want it now. And would you believe it? We've actually managed to talk about this for 50 minutes.
Hey.
Wow. Yeah, so just to sum up, basically, without being nasty, be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you didn't like something, just be honest about it. Don't have to be nasty about it. If it wasn't for you, there's your perfect answer. It wasn't for me. However. I might even name the episode that, just however.
However.
It is a great word. It is a great word.
Today's topical. However.
There is nothing wrong with formulating an opinion straight away, but just curtailing it with the word however, that will change. That could change. Because first opinions aren't always the opinion. Ark Nova, perfect example. The first 2 times we played that are, air quotes, first opinions of that game was it was garbage.
Yep.
It's now one of my favourite games of all time. So there you go. That's why you don't come up with your opinions on the first play.
Yes.
You have to play these things multiple.
At least 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we head off, have a quick drink, before we hit up episode number 2?
No, I mean, like I think pretty much James said, just be honest about it, whether it's the host or if, hopefully you're the host and asking their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest.
Yeah. If the host is terrible, make sure you tell them.
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about the game. The game's
Why
always
wasn't
good.
there enough drinks? Why wasn't enough food or anything?
Exactly. Speaking of that, I need to get you guys a drink, don't I? 'Cause
Yes.
yeah.
We've going 50 minutes.
My throat is getting a bit dry. So, yeah, James, anything else?
No, I think we covered everything.
Excellent. And anything else?
That's it.
Fantastic. Till next week, I have been Jason.
I have been James.
I've been Ant.
And you have been listening to the Meeple Minded Podcast. Join us next week for more tabletop gaming and goodness. Ta-ta and goodbye.